Radical Expressions, Lesson 2. Today we will look at adding and subtracting radicals. In order to add and subtract radicals, we must have like terms. That means that the root has to be the same, so we are dealing with square roots in both, but as well, the number underneath our root sign must also be the same. So right now these two are not, and so one way of adding and subtracting these is to try and write them in simplest terms. So let's simplify the square root of 50. The square root of 50 is the same thing as 25 times 2 under a root sign. The square root of 25 is 5, so I can bring 5 out front of the root, and I'm left with 2 underneath the root sign. We are adding this to 3 root 2. Now, our numbers under our root sign are the same, and both are square roots. If I have 5 root 2 and I add 3 more root 2, I end up with a total of 8 root 2's. Part B. Again, we need to simplify into simplest terms first. So negative square root of 27. 27 can be rewritten as 9 times 3, when 9 is our perfect square, plus 3 root 5 is already in simplest terms. Take away the square root of 80. 80 can be rewritten as 16 times 5. 16, of course, is a perfect square. Take away 2 times the square root of 12 can be broken into the perfect square 4 times 3. Simplifying our first radical, the square root of 9 is 3, so we end up with negative 3 outside of the root. Under our root, we're left with 3. No simplifying to do with the next term, so plus 3 root 5. The square root of 16 times 5, well, the square root of 16 is 4, so we take the 4 out front of the root, and we're left with 5 underneath. Minus 2 times, the square root of 4 is 2, and we're left with the 3 out front. One more little step to do some simplifying in here. These first ones all stay exactly the same. They are as simple as we can get them. However, this last one, we have 2 times 2 out front, so let's rewrite that as take away 4 root 3. We are now looking for like terms. That means our root and the number under the root have to be the same. So this term is root 3's and this term is root 3's. If I subtract our numbers up front, negative 3 take away negative 4 is a total of negative 7 root 3. I also have root 5 and root 5. So positive 3 take away 4 root 5 gives me negative root 5. I can't combine those two any further because they are not like terms. Part C. Part C introduces some variables in here as well. So again, we want to simplify our first one. Let's deal with this C has to be greater than or equal to 0. That's what we were looking at the end of the last day. If C was less than 0, we would end up with a negative value under our root sign. So that's why that restriction is there. Let's simplify negative 4 root C. Well, let's simplify the square root of 4 root C. The square root of 4 is 2, and I'm left with C under my root sign. Minus 4, and I want to simplify this radical. The square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3 out front of the root, and underneath my root sign, I'm left with C. So 2 root C, take away 12 root C. 2 take away 12 gives me a total of negative 10 root C.